All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Friday, June 9th, 2023. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Also, don't forget that we're still doing that flash sale for another 6 days here till the 15th. So if you want to get the Cycles course or the Carnivore course, 25% off, or both of them together, it's 30% off. Send me an email, Aaron at carnivoretrades.com, if you want to do some weekend charting and learning. Always good stuff. Ask anybody who's taken them. Amazing stuff that you can use the very next day. So anyways, let's get into it here. Markets are up. So up just 25 basis points. And I talked about this earlier with my members. Said, look, I kind of feel, we got a gap and go here. And I said, I kind of feel a little bit of a rug pull coming. Reason being is you look at the last couple of Fridays, it's just been kind of same theme, right? This was a big one. Lots of big tech call buying Friday. Last Friday, Thursday, Friday, we've had this big tech kind of show here. And the Russell 2000 has been kind of the laggard, although the last Friday it did catch up. And it's, kind of right back to being the big tech show here today. Tesla up 4%. This has just defied gravity here. This can still get to probably about 266. So the fact that it didn't pull back through this level here, and now it is way overdone. Take a look at the daily RSI here, 87 at one point today, so down to 85 now. But pretty remarkable move. Now they are keeping this. Today it looks like they're just burning it. So they bagged a lot of call buyers, and that's what I was going to say here is that we've had this kind of theme here on Fridays where you just buy calls and just let them take it up, and you do that 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Eventually, they're going to pull that rug. Everybody's going to buy calls. They're going to say, well, we can make some money here by bagging this premium, and they smoked it, and now we're just kind of stuck sideways here. But overall, nothing really. It's not like there's a high volume sell off. It's not like there's panic or anything, but to me it just says, and there was really no news that I saw, so it looks to me just like, hey, there's just smoke these calls. Really, that's what it looks like. And then notice how we're just kind of chopping around here. We'll probably be kind of sideways into the close. We did hit technical levels though. Take a look at the SPY here, 431.99 high of the day. Where's this high? 431.73. So we just touched the double top. Clearly, we didn't do enough consolidating to get through it. Only just a couple of days. So lots of, and you go back to here too. Look what you're going into, that big red bar. And then you're kind of going into this previous bear flag breakdown. So there's some resistance up here. Markets have been able to get through resistance levels, though. There's lots of liquidity sloshing around. Really since March and obviously January with the TGA runoff, which does come to a head soon. Again, lots of data next week. I would think Monday, I was telling my members, look, Monday we're probably going to look at a flat day. Maybe flat to inside, nothing really going on. Why? Because we have CPI Tuesday, then we have FOMC Wednesday. So of course that is, the market's just probably going to pause there. So we'll see what we get. Again, Federal Reserve is expected to pause. So that is pretty much priced in. The Fed's not in the business of surprising the market. Yes, they have, the Canadian Bank of Canada and the Australian Central Bank have done surprise hikes. I don't think Powell's that person. He's never really done that. So it would take a lot. Like, you'd have to get like a really hot CPI. Really, that would be kind of the only way that I could see that he would do a 180 there. It would have to be pretty hot, I would think. But either way, that's what's expected. So that is pretty much priced in at this point. Another thing that we did today, and, is we hit, I know everybody's going to say, well, it doesn't matter. But, well, it's not a coincidence that we went up to 43.22. And where's that JPM color? 43.20. And was there any news? Like I said this morning, I didn't see anything that warranted that big whack. So maybe that's a little bit of a cap here. Going into OPEX. So, and then of course, next week we have OPEX as well. So it's going to be stacked here. So last 4 days have been a nothing burger, right? Nothing going on. Today we get a little bit of a pop, but next week is going to be, where the show is, if you ask me. So spiders on the weekly here, again, finishing a little bit higher, kind of a narrow body candle, right into that double top. So it doesn't really tell us much here. Could be a pause. Again, markets are still pretty overbought. Looking at the cues here, Doji finish on the week after a hanging man last week. And, we don't pay too much attention to RSI, but I mean, that's 72 there. Look at the 4 hour and the hourly. I showed this earlier this morning. Look at that. I mean, that's it's running out of gas. I mean, if you ask me, I know I feel like I've been saying that for a while, but, eventually everybody who wanted to buy has bought already, and then you kind of just are left with sellers. So this does need to come back in here. It's just way overdone. But Q's here up 0.5%, again, mostly on the back of Apple, and Netflix actually held up well as well. So that had a nice day, up 2.5%. That one I can see getting up to 435, 440, but again, this is also still pretty overbought here, so just be aware of that. Russell 2000, again, that didn't do much today, so that actually backed off, down 1%. So right back to the old theme of, big tech up and breadth, not that good, right? In fact, let's look at the AD for the composite. Yeah, AD for the composite right back down today, and then a Russell down. Why is the Russell down? Because KRE's down. So I hear this talk about rotation, and I don't buy it at all. Just look at the KRE here. So in the first, you had a little reversal candle, and then a big pop, and then an inside day, and then a big pop, and then a gap up, and then 2 inside days. Actually, technically an outside day. What's a Russell? June 1st, reversal, big pop, inside, big pop, gap up, and then 2 inside days. Now an outside day, actually. Why? Because there's a ton of regional banks in the Russell. Okay, well, why are the regional banks getting a bid? My guess is put decay, right? So you have fear here, lots of fear on these big down moves. If you own regional banks, you're saying, well, I gotta buy put protection. You buy put protection, who's on the other end of that trade? A market maker. What does the market maker do? They hedge it with a short. What happens as you get closer to May OPEX, where you bought those puts for, that are no longer in the money? The market makers cover, and that causes a rally. You notice how we were pretty much down a week ahead of OPEX, and then we started to float up. Notice how we haven't been doing much all month, and now those quarterly June puts, those quad witch puts, are starting to decay because we're way out of the 30 handle now. You're buying puts at 38 for 38, or you're buying puts for 36, 34. That ain't going to get down there in the next couple of days. So market makers are unwinding those hedges. So that's why you're seeing KRE up, and it's helping the Russell to pop up here. Although it's KRE's down, so now Russell's down. It's really that simple. It's not rotation. If you ask me, I could be flat wrong, but it looks pretty much like the same chart here. But in any case, Russell 2000 backing off. I still think this has a good shot of getting to 190, 191. In fact, I'd say it's likely. And then the KRE, where would that take you? Probably about 46. Maybe 46, 50, 47. I mean, it's hard to say here, but you could put in a pattern that 20 MA catches up. You can still go up there. So we'll just leave it at that for now. Dow here up 25 basis points. Again, finally got back to the 340 level. We've been talking about that for a while. Can it get up to 343? Sure. We'll leave it at that. That's really all the upside I see for it at the moment, though. All right, SMH here. That gapped up and then came off the highs. Had a pretty good dump intraday and got all the way back to the flat line. NVIDIA came in pretty sharply. I think AMD... Let me look at AMD. Yeah, no, AMD was up 3%, so that held up. Intel took a pretty big hit, though. But either way, Semi's coming back in here. Again, still into a lot of resistance there on the weekly, but it's holding up for now. IGV, similar candle to the Qs, just kind of a big doji there, up 1%. Still below that high from Wednesday. So that's still a pivot until proven otherwise. And there is pretty good volume there, so just be aware of that. Transport's here having a weaker day. No real problems right now, though. So, again, we hit that 14.4 level. We said that would probably be a stall-out point, and it's pulling back there. So, if this consolidates, it can go higher here. But, if you take this, 14,000 level out, then, it's definitely spelling trouble here. So, but right now, no real issues here for the DJT. For interest rates, this is an issue for the market. And there's the dollar index. This is 3 basis points away from breaking out here. This is the 2-year. This is, so the Fed's going to pause, right? But they're not going to be able to pause moving forward if this breaks out to 5%. And this has been holding up this whole time here. It has not gone down. So watch the 2-year here. 5s here. Again, same pattern. 10-year, hammering on 3.8, and then the 30-year. Down a little bit here, but still has higher lows, hammering on 4%. So again, I think yields are telling us that the Fed's not done. I think the Fed has tried to tell us that we're not done, and the market doesn't really believe the Fed right now, but we'll see what we get going into the second half of the year. All right, XHB down 0.5%, no problems there. That can still get up to 77. ITB, same thing. That still is a little bit extended into resistance, but no problem with the pattern there. VNQ inside day. If that consolidates a little bit here, you can get up to 86, and that's really all I've got for it right now. XLF, that's actually green today with the financials down. I believe BRK is actually red. JPM is green though, so mostly just regional banks down. But XLF, okay, 33.50 is your upside. Target for the near term, we already talked about KRE, KBE here. If that consolidates, then, we can look at 39 to 40. But that's it for right now. And then broker dealers right into this little mini double top, and that's stalled out here. We'll see what that does. That may need to do some stalling and backing and filling. Crude over here, down 1.5. Again, I don't love the pattern here. I'm really neutral on it. I would say neutral to bear right now. If you take this low out, then it's going down here. And if you take that out, then it's going much lower. But for right now, it's hanging in there. XLE inside day. That can get to 84 if it consolidates. XOP, that can get to, we'll say 133 if that consolidates for right now. Then OIH, if that consolidates, that can get to 280, we'll say 288. But no weekly close above 280 just yet, but that's an important level there for right now. Nat gas backed off here. Nothing really doing there. Still in a choppy range. A lot of backing and filling going on the nat gas chart. Nothing really to update there. Dollar index, that's holding up okay. So that had a bounce from yesterday. You got below the 20 MA, but the weekly is still what I look at more so. You're above the 20 week, and you got an inside bar here. So this to me is just doing backing and filling. A little bit more consolidation will get you up into the 106 handle. And then gold here, again, still kind of an inside day there. I think that I'm giving that kind of a downside bias to 1900. Silver backed off of 2450, but if this kind of flags a little bit intraday, this can get through that 50 MA and maybe up to 25. I'm not sure what it wants to do. I'd have to look and see what it does Monday. But that's, it had a nice pop yesterday and just kind of a pause after a big move. So Monday will tell me a lot more here. But, if you get through 24, then it can go back up, into this 25 handle, maybe 25.50. So silver holding up pretty nicely. But we'll see what it does here moving forward. Monday, like I said, will tell us a lot more. Platinum, nothing really doing there. And then palladium, that got through that low. So I think I do like this level here, but it's just really hard to get a bid on PALL if you're not familiar with it. It has a really wide spread. So I don't know what this wants to do here, but it is into a really good level. And we'll see how this behaves over the next couple of weeks. But I am interested in palladium down in this area. So I'm keeping it on my radar, as you guys know. And then copper here, try to get through the 200 and backed off. So closed red. But no problems. If this consolidates again, it can go to 390. For right now, if that rejects, then it will go lower. All right, Bitcoin here, lastly. Back to 26.5. So it's inside of this green bar right now after the reversal. So no real problems. And again, it looks like as of right now, we're going to close the week above the 20 moving average. Now we still have a couple days left. So that can change. If that happens, then I think Bitcoin's cooked. If not, then it can make one more nominal high. That's really what I've got penciled in for it. All right, finally, let's get back over to the spiders here. So, yeah, we're just kind of chopping in this range. They'll probably stick us right here. Probably a 430 pin going into the close there on the SPY. Outside of that, Monday should be quiet. Tuesday, that's when the fireworks can start. And then FOMC is when they really should get going. And then after that, we have Quad Witch and a lot of other things going on. Anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com. Talk to you all next week.